I've been a Cricut Access member since 2019. Based on Cricut's marketing back then, I actually thought I needed to pay to use Cricut. I'm Felicia, and I'm here to tell you I was wrong. I signed up as a noob before I fully understood what was what and just kept paying for it. Well, I have learned a lot since 2019, and I've got my hands in so many different crafting arenas, including 6 different brands of vinyl cutters, sublimation, embroidery, DTF transfers, and now laser engravers. I figured it was time to cut that Cricut Access cord. I mean, do I really need all their silly fonts, images, and designs? The answer is no. So I canceled my subscription. Was that a mistake? Should you cancel it too? Do you even need it in the first place? Canceling your Cricut Access membership doesn't mean you can't use Cricut Design Space. The software is free. What did I lose? What would you miss if you didn't pay $10 a month? Let's take a look. Let's start with how we would remove the background from an image. So under Upload on the left, I'm going to click on Upload Image and browse to find an image. And I'll pick this one of Fresh and Felicia and click Continue. And you can see it comes in with this gray background, and that's not what I want. Let's say I'm making stickers and I don't want the gray background. Click on Preview, but because I don't have Cricut Access membership, it's going to come up with Cricut watermarks all over my image. And that's not what I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Revert. And now under Manual on the bottom left here, I can click on Select or that magic wand and then click in the gray area to remove that background. And then click Apply and Continue and select Flat Graphic because I'm going to make stickers and upload that image. And now it's on my canvas. It's going to be very large, so we're going to size that down just for a second and move it over here to the side. So there I have my image. That was easy to remove the background and upload, even though I didn't have Cricut Access membership. But what happens when we get things a little bit more complicated? If I click on Upload, Upload Image, and browse to find a different image, let's pick these cartoon flowers. When I go to preview it, again, it's going to put that watermark all over it, and I actually did not do a great job here. You can see that some of the colors in my petals are missing. So I'm going to click on Revert, and this time I'm going to click on Select the magic wand, and then click in that white area. That looks good. There's this Preview Single Layer option here. I'm going to turn that on, and you can see that it's just giving me the outline of my flowers. It's not giving me those individual pieces and parts. So I'm going to turn that back off, and with that magic wand selected, I'm going to click in these white areas to remove them. Now when I go to preview it, you can see I can see those cutouts and I can see my flowers individually. I'm going to click on Continue, Flat Graphic because we're making stickers with this, and upload that to my canvas. And we'll size that down to 3 inches. All right, so there's my second one. So that wasn't too bad. And it actually worked better than Cricut's background removal. But what happens when I want to upload a photograph? I want to make stickers of a rose. So I have this image of a rose here. And I'm going to go ahead and upload that in. And let's go ahead and click on that preview for the automatic background remover that you get with Cricut Access and see what happens to this image. It didn't do exactly what I wanted. It's missing pieces and parts of the rose that I really did want. So I'm going to revert back. And I'm going to use that magic wand and I'm going to start clicking in this green area. And you can see that it's not doing a very good job. And that's really not what I wanted. But I could use this eraser option and start erasing pieces and parts. I can even increase the size of my eraser, but that's still a lot of work, and that's not what I wanted to do either. To save me some time, I did a quick Google search and found this photo room site. It's a free service that I can use, and I can start uploading my image here, find my rose, and open it, and watch what it does to my image. Perfect. It did it perfectly. So I can click on Download. I'm going to download, the free version gives you the standard resolution, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to Cricut Access, go back here and re-upload my new image that I just did from Photo Room, and take a look and see how that is. I'm going to make it a sticker, so a flat graphic, and load that into the software. And there you have it. You can see that my rose came in just the way I wanted it to. There are options for removing backgrounds to images without having to have Cricut Access membership. Now I want to make each one of these a sticker. So let's see how we can do that. If I click on the Fresh and Felicia caricature, there's an option at the top called Create Sticker. And when I click on that, it tells me that this feature is a Cricut Access member feature. But it gives me an option to check it out. So I'll go ahead and click on Check It Out. And I'm going to do a die cut sticker. And here's an option to set a border, whether I want it thin, and you can see the amount of padding around the border and the image increases as I go up to standard and even wide. Move that back down to standard, and then say apply. Now what happens is at the bottom here, it tells me that this is a Cricut Access member subscription option, that I can't use it. Okay, that's fine. So what would I do instead? With this rose, I could go under offset and apply my own padding around my image the way I want it to be. So I can simply increase or decrease the amount of padding I have around my image till I get it to what I want it to be, and then click apply. By default, it comes in as black, so you can go up under operation and change the color to whatever color it is you want, maybe white. But I don't see the background as white. So that's because my canvas here is white, but I can go under blank canvas on the bottom right, click there, and then at the top under color, change that color to maybe a gray. Now you can see that I have my padding around my flower, as well as the padding around my Fresh and Felicia image. All right, now let's do this flower here. Let's go under offset and add the padding spacing that we'd like it to be, maybe that much, and say apply, and change that color to white. Now what happened here is you can see this little bit of gray came through because of the amount of padding I had. If I click on that background, that offset image, I don't have the option to contour that little piece out. So what I could do is go under shapes and make a circle and make that a little bit smaller, big enough to cover that cutout. Select both of those layers and go under combine and weld. Now I'll send that to the background. And now I can put my flowers back over it. Select them both, align center, and now I have my image ready to go. Easy peasy. You want to see that one more time? All right, let's take this image. We'll delete the background. Take this image and go under offset. Adjust the padding to what you want it to be. Maybe like so, and click apply. Change the color to white. You can see that piece. When I move the flowers off, the offset layer has that tiny piece in the background that's coming through, and I don't want that. So I click on shape, circle, make that circle a little bit smaller, cover that piece, select both the offset and the circle, and go under combine, weld, and then send that to the back. And move my flowers back over it, select the flowers and the offset, and align center. That's all there is to it. So do I need this create sticker feature over here? I don't. I can create my own offsets and my own stickers this way. Design Space is free to use, and with a Cricut account, you get access to 3,000 plus images. If you want access to all 1 million plus images, you'll need to pay roughly $10 a month for Cricut Access. Is it worth it, or are there other options? Let's take a look. Under Images on the left, this is where the image library is located, and this is where that 1 million plus number of images are located. You can see that because I don't have a Cricut Access membership, that some of the images, or most of the images, actually have a dollar tag associated with them, so you'd have to purchase these in order to use them. So what do you get for free? If you click on free under General, you get access to 3,000 plus images, and you can scroll through and see what types of images you get access to. Is it necessary to have a 1 million plus? Not really. Let's take a look at something. I'm going to leave free checked, and I'm going to search for butterfly. And these are all the butterfly images that I have access to. Now, if I turn free off and do the same search, these are all the butterflies I get access to here. So yeah, you get a whole lot more, and some are more detailed and more colorful than others. What other options do I have for butterflies or other free images? If I go over to designbundles.net, there is a free designs option, and I'll click on free SVGs. And then I'll do a search for butterflies. And here are free images that I can download from designbundles.net. Under Creative Fabrica, you can do the same thing. There's a freebie section here. If I do a search for butterflies, and on the left, scroll down and click on freebies, you'll see these are all the butterfly images that I have access to for free with Creative Fabrica. Point being, there are options. You don't have to subscribe to Cricut Access to get access to their 1 million plus images. It's not your only option. You have other locations, other websites where you can get free images. On the left, under Shapes, you get a set of free images, free shapes, as well as you can see shapes that are available only if you have a subscription to Cricut Access. If you go under Images and type in shape. With free checked, you get a listing of different shapes that are available for free in Design Space. So go back, and I'm going to close that down and go back to my canvas and go back under shapes and look at some of the shapes that are here that you have to pay for. We've got a teardrop. Back under shapes, we've got a scallop circle. And under shapes, we've got a crescent moon. So if I go under images, and let's say I want a crescent moon, looky there, a crescent moon. Add to canvas. Pretty close. Look for a scallop circle. And there's a scallop circle. Add to canvas. And then a teardrop. Go under images, search for teardrop. And there's a teardrop. Now the difference about this teardrop is when I view it on my canvas, make it bigger obviously. It's got this cutout in it. With that image selected, if I go under contour, I can click on that piece that I don't want and then close it down and it's gone, and now I have a solid teardrop. So there are options. If you can't find what you're looking for in shapes, there's always the ability to do a Google search or look in designbundles.net or maybe even create a Fabrica. I definitely don't think you need Cricut Access for this section. Without having Cricut Access, you get access to 250 plus ready-to-make projects. If you have Cricut Access, that jumps up to 100,000. So let's take a look in Cricut Design Space at Projects, which is located on the left navigation menu. And here you'll find those 100,000 different projects that you can use to create yourself if that's what you're looking to do without having to do any design work. You can also filter this list on a variety of different things, including a free section. Some of these are actually showing up as free, like this mug. They're in this green line here. When I click on it, there is no cost associated with it. But then when I go down to, say, this birthday one, there is a cost associated with it. So I'm not sure why they're showing up in the free section, but that's okay. We can use this list for inspiration and figure out how to do these designs ourselves. So if I want to type in Halloween, Daddy's little girl, and search on that, I might say, I like this little guy here. So I'm going to add, you can see that this is going to cost me $5.98 to make. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Customize, and it's telling me that the font is not available for me, but that's okay. I don't care, because we're going to recreate this exact same thing or something as close to it as we can get. So I'm going to go under Images, and I'm going to search Free, and I'm going to search Pumpkin. This pumpkin looks pretty close to what was used in that design, so I'm going to add to canvas. I'll size that up to be about the same size as this pumpkin here. And then leaves. So I'm going to go back under images, and I'm going to do leaves, free leaves. And this one looks pretty close to what I'd like to use. So I'll add that to canvas, and I'll size that down and position it on my pumpkin by rotating it a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead and type Daddy's Little Girl. And they use two fonts for this project, so we'll use two fonts as well. We'll say all caps, Daddy's, all caps, Daddy's, again, to the text tool, little, and one more time on the text tool, girl, or pumpkin. And then we'll select Daddy's, and then under fonts, we'll go through here and we'll figure out a font that we like. And let's see. I want to point out that on this filter option, I have got it filter for free. So it's only showing me the fonts that I get for free. And let's see, let's try this one. No, let's try this one. That looks pretty good. And we'll use that same font, which, by the way, if you're not sure what it is Cricut Stretch. So we'll do the same font for pumpkin, Cricut Stretch, and then we'll find something else for little. Let's see, dongle. Dongle looks good. We'll use that. We'll just make it bigger. we'll make all of those fonts black. And then we'll take those 3 fonts, select those, and we'll go under Align, Horizontal, and then we'll fix the spacing on this a little bit. That looks pretty good. We'll select those 3 layers, the 3 text layers, and we'll group them. And then we'll select that group and the pumpkin, and we will align horizontal. I pretty much duplicated in different fonts this pumpkin here. I'm happy with it, so I can put this on a t-shirt. So if I go to make this right now, it's going to tell me that I've got to check out because something is costing money, and it's that whole pumpkin that I downloaded from the project. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this guy, delete. We're going to take this group and we're going to attach it, and then we're going to go to make. So when I go to do that, no longer do I have to check out anything. I've used everything free in the software to create that design. So it is possible to just use those projects as inspiration to come up with what you like without having to purchase Cricut Access. I can even change my pumpkin color to orange. I'm going to go ahead and save this project. I'm just going to save it as Daddy's Little Girl and save. So then let's move on to the next section. And that is within Cricut Design Space, you can only save 5 collections. And 5 collections are like folders that you can save your projects into. Before I canceled my Cricut Access subscription, I had a whole bunch of folders. Now I can only have access to the 3 that I have here. It doesn't mean that I can't access all my projects. They're all sitting here. I can only sort them in different folders. How do you get around that so that you can search things easily? If you go under this triple dot for that image I just saved and click on Edit Project Details, you have the ability to add a description in here and tag your project. So in this case, this has to do with Halloween, so maybe I'll type in Halloween, and maybe I'll type in girl, and maybe daddy. No, dad. And then I'll save that and close that down. So now when I go to search on, let's say, girl, that project shows up. Or even daddy, that project's there. Or even Halloween. So that's a nice way to be able to filter your projects without having to use collections. Another feature of the software that requires Cricut Access is this monogram feature. So if you're into monograms, maybe this is a good thing, but I think that we can probably replicate ourselves outside of having to use this monogram maker. So if I type in some initials, let's just say ABC, I can then go under, there's a lot of different options here for fonts, for styles, and there's also the thematic and different categories that you can use. And if we go under decorative and select, I don't know, let's say this circle here, add to canvas, and make it a little bit bigger, we can probably recreate this. But before we try to do that, I'm going to select that image, and I'm going to show you that when I go to try to make this, it requires me to have a Cricut Access subscription before I can do anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because we're not going to actually do the subscription. We're going to try to replicate this. If I go under Images and Free, I can type scallop circle, and there's one right there. So we'll click on that and add that to canvas, and we'll make it about the same size as the other one. And then we're going to go under Shapes, and we're going to make a circle. And we'll put it over here, and we'll make it about like that. And then we're going to select both the layers and go under Align and Center. With both of those layers selected, we're going to click on Slice in the bottom right corner and move these slice circles out of the way. So we have our first layer. Then we'll take this gray circle, move it back, and shrink it just a little bit, like so. That looks pretty good. Select those layers and Align Center. Delete this one. So we have our circles and look pretty close to what the monogram maker created, and then we'll add some text, A, B, C. We'll change the font to white. Let's just make it purple for now. And we'll make it a little bit bigger, put it in the center here. And then we could change the font to something that might fit better or something closer to what the monogram maker, or anything that really works for you. Let's do this one because it's kind of close to what we have here. And then I'm going to align that center. And with just the gray circle selected and the text, I'm going to go down to slice in the bottom. Then I'm going to move those out of the way. And now I have created the same, or close to the same design as the Monogram Maker. When I go to make that, I delete this one first. When I go to make it, I should not be prompted for a subscription, and I'm not. I should be able to make this just fine now. So again, you can use the Monogram Maker or even the projects area as inspiration and create designs for yourself, all without having to use Cricut Access. Another feature that is only available with Cricut Access membership is the Warp tool. So I'm going to click on text and I'm going to just type in hello, move it up here, make it bigger. And under Warp at the top, you can do all kinds of different effects to it. Move it over here so you can see. You can change things around, make them funny, whatever you want, right? But when you go to make it, you can see that you have to use a subscription in order to be able to actually cut this out or send it to be printed. So what do you do if you don't have Cricut Access? You load Inkscape. It's a free tool, and you click on the A and you type your word, hello, and we'll make it bigger so you can see it. Then you have to go under Path, Stroke to Path, then Path, Path Effects, and then a new item opened up on the right here, and we're just going to type in Lattice and use the Lattice Deformation feature, and make sure that Update While Moving Node Knots is on, and then click on your image, double click on your text, and then all these outside nodes you can start dragging to create that bulge effect. And you can do this however you want until you get the effect that you're looking for. Just play around with it. So if that's the way you like it, then you can go under File, Save As. I'll save this to my desktop. And I'm going to call it, it's going to save it as a SVG file. I'll call it test and save. Then when we go back over to Cricut, we can go to Upload, Upload Image, Browse. I put it on my desktop, and there's the hello or the test.svg file. Let's say Open, Continue, Upload, and there's my image. So you have options like free software like Inkscape, and there's others you can search for, but I found this to be pretty easy once I figured it out. So you don't have to subscribe to Cricut Access in order to do warp text. Point out is when you go up under Upload, there is a new feature in Design Space for Cricut Access members that allows them to take an image and have it broken down into multiple layers. So it becomes an SVG file, and I've just uploaded here a PNG file. And when I click Continue, and continue again, you can see I have three options if I can convert this to. I can convert it to a flat graphic, which is print and cut, a single layer, which is going to cut just that outline of a flower, or multi-layers. And you can see that it is only available to subscribers. But when I click on Continue, you can then see that it's got 2 layers right now, and I can actually change this to 3 layers, and it will convert and show me 3 layers. And if I were a member of Cricut Access, I would then be able to add this to my canvas and cut the 3 layers out in different colors. I don't have the subscription, so what I have to do is cancel this, go back up under Upload, go to Image, and I'm going to pull that flower back in, the PNG file, and I'm going to click Continue. Now you might find this a little bit cumbersome, but it does work. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the Select tool and click on the green area and the yellow area. That just leaves me with the pink. So I'm going to click on Apply, Single Layer, and Continue, and then Upload. And then I'm going to do that again. Same process, dragging my file in, and Continue. But this time I'm going to get rid of the green and get rid of the pink, and I'm going to crop this down just a little bit so that I can see that I don't have any extra spots on there, and click continue. Then single layer, done, and upload. I'm going to do that one more time before we resize everything. Go to upload, image, drag my flower with stem back in there again, continue, and this time with my wizard, my select turned on, I'm going to click on the yellow, the pink, and leave the green, and say apply. And single layer, add it to canvas. Okay, now before I do that, you can see that I have a little bit of space there, so we're going to go back, and back, and I'm going to crop that down to get rid of that extra clutter. And say continue, and single layer, and then upload. And then I'm going to Control A to select everything, and I'm going to size it down to, let's say, 5 inches. All right, so now you can see I have 3 layers. I have the petal, the stem, the petal, and the circle for the center. So I can take the stem, and it's a basic cut, and I can change the color to green. I can click on the petals, and I can change the color to maybe pink. And then I can change the color of the little circle for the center to maybe yellow. And then when I go to assemble my flower, it looks something like this. And now I'm able to cut 3 layers, so I get the different vinyl colors. And now I've created inside Design Space a multi-layer SVG file. Hopefully this was helpful and you can make the right decision for yourself. Please click that subscribe button and the notification bell. All the time. Thanks for watching and happy crafting.